misunderstood. The book Extinguishing Einstein flips the script with real solutions that help bright minds thrive. This is a must-read for teachers and parents. Get your free copy today by scanning the QR code on our ad in the August issue of Lake Norman Woman magazine.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Good morning, Lake Norman. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam right here. And thanks for joining us today because you'll be glad you did. It's a great day in the neighborhood and I mean literally the bigger neighborhood, because we have with us today Mayor Rusty Knox from the town of Davidson and Mayor Christy Clark from the town of Huntersville. So it's a Mayor's Day here at WSIC, and we're delighted to be here. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Woody.
Thanks for inviting us.
Oh, man, glad to have you. Man, you know, we're coming off of some big news from last night. We have been at the process of working through the transit plan for this region for so very long. I just can't even remember how long we've been. We've been talking about it ever since I've been an elected official, which is about 12 years now. Rusty's right behind me with a lot of years as well, and we have been talking about the transit plan and how we're going to make this work. Well, we somehow got this conversation going toward not only transit, but roads. Roads are critical for North Mecklenburg, and when you combine the two, you got to win here, people. I'm just saying, it's got to be a win for us. So I'm excited that the Mecklenburg County Commission just last night, we were all out really late last night, and so if we're a little bit draggy, that might be part of the reason, but, you know, they took a vote to allow this new transit the transit tax, which will fund this, to be on the referendum this November. And we were hoping it would get in that direction because, you know, this is a issue that I believe that the people need to decide. It's an important issue. It's a critical issue. And how cool is it when you tax people to allow them to decide whether they want to be taxed or not? So we are all very excited about, the direction that this is going. And we're going to talk through some of that, and we'll talk about some other things as well that affect all three towns. It's amazing that we join each other. Literally, our boundaries join each other all the way around. Cornelius is a little bit landlocked. We sit in the middle, and we're surrounded by Lake Norman, Huntersville, and Davidson. So we are as big as we're going to get geographically. So that's the end of that story. But the guys on both sides of us, i.e. Davidson and Huntersville, do have a little space. And, boy, growth is happening, isn't it, Mayor Clark? I'll let you go first on that one because you lead the way for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Huntersville is the 16th largest municipality in the state, and so we are rapidly rising as one of the fastest growing around here, which is really exciting. We have lots of innovation going on with affordable housing and new housing developments all over the place, and then lots of industry coming, bringing jobs to the town of Huntersville, which we were very excited about as well.
Well, jobs is a nice compliment to what we're all about. And, if you're drawing jobs to Huntersville, that provides jobs for my citizens here in Cornelius and Rusty's in Davidson. So, however successful any of us are in that category, we all win, don't we?
That's right.
And that's pretty cool. So, Rusty, tell us about your town and what's going on as it relates to your growth patterns. You've done a little growing too, surprising for Davidson.
Well, we have. I think when you look at Davidson, we are just, depending on who you talk to, we're just north of 15,000 or just shy of 16,000. So we're right there. More people than I ever remember being in Davidson, but our growth has changed dramatically in the 10 years prior to me being elected in 2017. The town approved a little over 3,000 homes, and that sounds like pro-growth, but that also was predicated by large tracts of land that had not been available for development, coming available for development. So it wasn't that the town was trying to grow by 300 homes a year by any means. It was just large tracts of land, the Westmoreland farms and things like that came available, and developers bought those. Since I got elected in 2017, we've only approved about 600 homes. And that's because the large tracts of land in Davidson have dried up. I mean, we have about 3,700 acres total in our footprint of 5 square miles. We only have about 1,150 acres that is held privately that can be developed in the future. And most of that stuff is not available for sale and won't be available for sale for years to come. So our growth has been more of small pocket stuff now where there's, 5 off, 10 off. We sadly are starting to experience the same thing that Charlotte is experiencing with the tear downs, where people are buying houses and tearing them down and putting the McMansions up. And I'm personally not a big fan of that, even though I've been a realtor for 30 years. I just don't like seeing an old house torn down and having a $2 or $3 million house take its place.
That's the name of the game on Lake Norman now, too. So, and it's happening everywhere. It really is. And I'll make a few comments about Cornelius, which will surprise most people. We have just gotten some. I've had our town staff to really study our population growth, because I think that's important for people to understand that. We have grown in the town of Cornelius an average of 0.4%, 0.4% over the past 3 or 4 years. I think it's 4 years. And that's pretty remarkable. We put a plan in place years ago when I was first elected that would really control some of that growth and slow us down so our infrastructure could get to a point of catching up. And it's worked. It really has. We're proud of that. And, we're to the point that we don't have much land left. And so we've got to be very careful with what we approve, and we are really doing that. I think that is certainly the name of the game. People talk to us all the time. If you ask our citizens what's our number one priority and our number one problem, what are they going to say, guys? Traffic. Transportation.
Congestion.
Congestion. It's true. I drive on these streets. These other mayors drive on these streets just like everybody else. And it is congested, and we are looking for solutions for sure. And we've got them. They're coming with 5 approved transportation projects that will be under contract by this September. That's pretty good progress for us. And Huntersville's got
around 40.
Yeah, and it's incredible. And we're doing a lot for our town. We're spending a lot of town dollars to complement that. And the fact of the matter is, you say, well, we've got all this traffic, we've got all this congestion. Where's it coming from if we're not growing? Well, it's coming from Huntersville. It's coming from Denver. It's coming from Mooresville and a little bit from Davidson, but we're right in the middle. So it's an incredible experience there. We'll be right back. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we're talking about transit today.
There's more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, what do you say we start to warm things up a little bit more and we finally dry out a little bit? We're going to be looking forward to that the next couple of days. For our Thursday, we're getting some sunshine to peek out. Still some extra clouds around and the chance of an isolated shower or pop-up thunderstorm, but high temperatures should climb back into the mid and upper 70s for the afternoon. Looking at mainly dry weather and getting warmer too as we head toward the weekend. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s for our Friday and into Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville presents live music on Saturday night with a performance by My Better Half. The husband and wife duo brings energy and chemistry to the stage while their music spans a wide range of genres and eras. Call 704-872-9990 for more information on the Victory Lane Sports Bar and Grill, tea times, and the My Better Half show on Saturday night, all at the 500 Club. Kick back, relax, and enjoy movie night in the plaza at Birkdale Village in Huntersville with Lights, Camera, Birkdale. Film Classics take over their jumbo screen on Saturday with a showing of Madagascar at 7:30 p.m. Want dinner during the movie? Contact Concierge by 4 p.m. on Saturday to place your phone order and then pick up at the Concierge booth. Lights, Camera, Birkdale presents Madagascar on Saturday night. See the top riders from the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship as they compete on a custom-built course at ZMAX Dragway. The playoff opener features a two-moto format for the 450cc class and 250cc class, promising plenty of drama and excitement from the moment the gates drop. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, a track map, and information on other 2025 events. Looking for fashion that fits your style and your budget? Green Jeans Consignment is back September 9th through 14th at 601 Milestone Venue in Concord. Shop, consign, or both. Get all the details at greenjeansale.com. Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Looking for a unique gift? We've got it. The Local Collective is your go-to for handmade, heartfelt, and locally made. Over 40 local makers under one roof. Come visit us in July, mention this ad, and score a free gift. Visit thelocalcollectivenc.com.
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
And we're back. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam right here. Thanks for joining us today. We do have an extra special program. You know, it's hard to get the three mayors' schedules coordinated here in North Mecklenburg because we're all pretty doggone busy. But we did it. And here we are today with Mayor Rusty Knox and Mayor Christy Clark from Huntersville. And it's a big day in the neighborhood today. So thanks for joining us here in the middle-sized Middletown of these North Mecklenburg communities. So we're talking about transit. As we noted earlier, there was a big event last night at the Mecklenburg County Commission where they voted 8-1, which was pretty remarkable, to allow a referendum on the ballot this fall on the transit tax. And this is a matter, transit overall has been something these three mayors have been working on ever since we've gotten elected. It's been a serious problem, and here we are, a community, an overall total community of 1,000,002, 1,000,004 people. We're growing at 117 people a day in this whole greater Charlotte region. It's an incredible thing that we have got to address. And what I've told people, I can't imagine what gridlock will be like in 10 years, 8 or 10 years, if we don't get something done now. Now's the time to start. Nothing in transportation or transit works fast. You don't build roads fast. And that's frustrating, isn't it, Christy? We have worked a long time to get what we're getting here, and it's happening. It's happening in all throughout our regions.
Yeah, I mean, people don't recognize that when a road is being built, it starts with right-of-way acquisition, which takes a long time, and then moves to utilities being relocated, and that takes an even longer time. And in between there, they're doing the design and engineering drawings and trying to figure out the best way to do that, and that takes a long time. And that's not even counting where does the funding come from for those roads. And the voters in Huntersville made a really good decision to approve a roads bond in 2023 and gave us a little extra funding there to kind of complete roads, improve our connectivity, do all those things that we need to do with crosswalks and stop lights and different things. But this should this measure pass, it's going to be a game changer for the town of Huntersville with additional like $11 million in our transportation budget that will help us really move forward faster.
Absolutely, and that's an incredible number, and we talk about it a lot in Cornelius, and it is a game changer for us, and I'm sure Davidson as well. An incredible game changer because we will get the first year that this tax is implemented, assuming it passes. The town of Cornelius will get right a little bit less, but right at $6 million based on the formula that's out there. A lot of people say that, well, you'll probably never see it. Yes, we will see it if it passes the voters, which is critical. I am really totally supportive of the voters getting their opportunity to speak on this issue. If it passes the voters in November, it's an important election, folks, and I hope y'all are all registered to vote. Little side note there. It's an important election in many ways. We'll talk a little more about that in a minute. But, once we get past that and we start seeing these funds flow in, and really the road money is half. If it's a 1 cent sales tax, we get half of that here in each of the 3 towns to build roads. In our case, as I said, we get almost $6 million, and Christy said that they get almost 11. Rusty, what do you get out of that?
So our first year realization will be $3.1 million, and that does not sound like as large a number as either of the two of you get, but we only have a $22 million budget. So $3 million is transformational for us with what we're going to be able to do for our Vision Zero program, our sidewalks, our side paths, our flashing beacons, any type of enhancements we can do for pedestrian and bicycle safety, plus the fact that we have a resurfacing schedule that we do for our town-owned roads, and people don't realize, but like River Run Country Club has 9 miles of roads in the club, and we're responsible for all of those. So these monies that we will get will go to local projects like that will help us tremendously with our budget. But let's go back quickly to the referendum in November. I think it's very important for people to educate themselves on what this is all about.
Absolutely.
You have heard naysayers talk about it being a regressive tax. You have heard folks in Matthews saying, we've worked for 20 years to get a train and we're not getting a train. Well, we've been paying for a train up here in North Mecklenburg for 30 years. Not just work, we've been paying for it. And I want folks to understand that when we budgeted this thing, originally it was an 80-20 split, 80% for rail, 20% for roads and buses, or for buses. And the legislature changed that to a 40-40-20 split. Even at the 80-20 split, we didn't get a train to Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
What people need to understand is that the train from the Gateway Center to Matthews was $4.9 billion. And all the other rail projects combined were $5.1 billion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just the train to Matthews cost almost as much as the red line, the gold line extension, the blue line extension, and the silver line extension to the airport. So it's logistically it didn't work. You're bisecting the city of Charlotte for it didn't fund. The funding model didn't work. Can the bus enhancements we're doing with Better Bus and the fact that we're expanding the really successful micro transit pilot that we had here in North Mecklenburg to 19 zones throughout the county, it's going to be a game changer in the way people move around. And I hope people educate themselves on this whole thing. It's not just about my whatever's going to go up a penny on the dollar. It's so much more than that for our county.
It's incredible what we get for that penny. That's what just blows me away. I don't like taxes. My politics don't like taxes. But at the same time, you get to a point that you have to do certain things that citizens expect and deserve. If you expect to keep quality of life at a good level in our communities, then, I tell my board all the time, and I bet y'all do too, this stuff isn't free. And, our resources for revenue is limited, very limited in town government. It's our property tax. It's our a sales tax, a few little fees that we charge, but almost nothing in that particular category. And when we go out and beg from the state for grants or the federal government for grants or the Mecklenburg County for grants, it's hard to get those grants. We've been successful, and all of our towns up here have. But, a new revenue source like this is pretty incredible for us, and it will make a difference. It will allow us to maintain very reasonable tax rates here. And that's a good thing. And I think one thing that's important to point out, and I think y'all will agree with me, that it is a fact that 30% of that 1 cent tax that's paid comes from outside of Mecklenburg County. It is high time for people that don't live in Mecklenburg County to start paying for some of these amenities that we offer in our roads and we will be offering in our transit system. So it's time for them to pay for that. And that's a pretty high number, 30%. Don't you agree,
Yeah,
Christy?
yeah. And I think another thing that thinking about this possible, passage of the sales tax is it's truly an effort. It makes us more regional. It gives us funding across the board. That means we can tie things together across our 3 towns and across the city of Charlotte. And then in the South, they can do the same thing because it's not just one area of the county or the other. We're all in this together now, and it's going to create a regional transit authority that's going to give voices to residents in this town and in all of our towns to weigh in on what is happening with transit. And I think that's just like a really big development for the area. I think people think those mayors go sit in that room and they close the door and they make all decisions and don't think about the residents. But now we're bringing everybody to the table, the whole region, and it's going to really change the whole face of Mecklenburg County as time goes on.
It really will. My citizens beat the drum in my ear constantly about transportation and the need for roads. Well, here you go, folks. And they've also told me in the past they're willing to pay for it or help pay for it. And here we go, folks. So, we're checking a lot of boxes with this thing. And, the opportunity for top quality economic development on what little opportunity that we all have out there is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It's coming right through our redeveloping downtown regions.
Mhm.
And that's got to be a good thing. It really does. So, I hope we can take this thing up to at least Lowe's one day. We'll see if we get permission to do that. But that would be quite a complete system if we could at least get it that far. So it's going to be pretty interesting how this all travels. But yet, having it in the hands of the citizens is really where it should be. So,
Yep.
more to come on that. But, Rusty, you are absolutely right about this educational piece. There's going to be opportunities. The town of Cornelius will have a web page that will be up today to educate folks, and you folks may have it
Yeah,
as
We're
well.
doing the same
Too,
thing, yeah.
It'll be up today that will provide you an array of information on actually this tax and what it'll be paying for. It's factual. It's not political. It's not trying to sell anybody on anything. It's trying to provide the facts. So please, please get educated. So that's my sermon for that, and we will be right back for the next phase of our program. I hope you'll continue to join us.
We'll be back with more of About Town, hosted by Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, straight ahead on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, what do you say we start to warm things up a little bit more and we finally dry out a little bit? We're going to be looking forward to that the next couple of days. For our Thursday, we're getting some sunshine to peek out. Still some extra clouds around and the chance of an isolated shower or pop-up thunderstorm, but high temperatures should climb back into the mid and upper 70s for the afternoon. Looking at mainly dry weather and getting warmer too as we head toward the weekend. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s for our Friday and into Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Meteorologist Chase Myers.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
This summer, give your child the edge at Huntington Learning Center in Huntersville. Our K-8 summer program builds skills, confidence, and motivation. Get $600 off for 30 hours and $900 off for 45. Spots are limited. Also offering military test prep. Visit huntingtonhelps.com.
With 5 area locations, Desco is your go-to resource for electrical supplies. Albemarle, Mooresville, Salisbury, Statesville, and Lexington. No matter where the job takes you, you're sure to be close to a Desco. Shop now at DescoInc.com.
Let's talk about tomorrow for a minute. Chances are, someday, you're going to want to retire. And even though you'll stop working, you'll never want to stop achieving. You'll want to explore new ventures when you retire. You'll want to see and experience new things because you'll finally have the time to do it. But to get there, you'll need a financial strategy. Eileen Stoner at Morgan Stanley can help. Eileen is a financial advisor, and she has more than 28 years of experience. Eileen can help you create a strategy based on how you want to live now and once you retire. She'll work with you and your attorney toward your goals like estate planning and leaving a legacy. And the great thing is, she's right here in Lake Norman. To make an appointment with Eileen, call 704-896-9138. That's 704-896-9138. Meet with Eileen today to talk about your future. Because when you stop working, your retirement income is going to have to work for you. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, Morgan Stanley. Its affiliates and Morgan Stanley Financial Advisors do not provide tax or legal advice. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Busy? Tired? Not into big gyms? Try 20 minutes twice a week at The Exercise Coach. Private, tech-driven workouts tailored for you. Across from Birkdale Village, serving the 50-plus community for over 5 years. Sign up for 2 free sessions at exercisecoach.com/Huntersville today.
Harrison's is the home of Work Western, and wow! For nearly 30 years, our family has been boots on the ground when it comes to work. We have the largest selection of in-stock boots in the Carolinas and the best workwear brands like Harriet, Carhartt, and Wrangler. Find us on Norman Station Boulevard in Mooresville.
Every day you listen to the news, but how is that news affecting your financial world? Things like your retirement and your kids' college fund? You need someone who can help you work towards your goals, someone to help you move forward in these times of change. Call Eileen Stoner at Morgan Stanley. Eileen has 28 years of experience as a financial advisor, and she's right here in Cornelius, North Carolina. To make an appointment with Eileen Stoner, call 704-896-9138. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Need a ride? iCats has you covered. Tuesdays to the VA in Salisbury, Thursday to Winston-Salem, and Fridays to Hickory. Plus, run errands every day around Iredell County for just $1. Visit rideicats.com.
How's your AC holding up? When it's this hot, it can tax your system. Don't wait for a breakdown on the hottest days of the year. Call Horn Heating and Air Conditioning for a seasonal tune-up today. Welcome home to the feeling of visit hornhvac.com.
It ain't easy being number one, but we make it look good.
WSIC.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. President Trump is urging chipmaker Intel's CEO to resign. On his Truth Social, Trump said CEO Lip Bhutan should step down because of what he called conflicts of interest. Republican Senator Tom Cotton asked the CEO to answer questions about ties to China, including investments in the country's semiconductor companies and others with connection to the country's military. In a statement, Intel said it was deeply committed to the national security of the U.S. and it would address the matters in a letter with the senator. Toyota is warning of a $9.5 billion hit to its bottom line from the tariffs that have rattled the auto industry. The car maker's forecast is way more pessimistic than its Japanese peers. And Peloton's profit improved this past quarter for the New York fitness company, and expenses shrank by 20%. However, the terrain ahead will be a rough one for its employees. Peloton is cutting 6% of its workforce to reduce costs. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
Who is this? This is 105.9 100.7.
WSIC. Local starts here.
We're back with more of About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back, everybody. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam here with Mayor Christy Clark and Mayor Rusty Knox, and we're just having a big time catching up on so many really, really important items that is going on in our region. However, I do want to roll back to this transit tax for just a couple more discussion points. You know, we've talked a lot about how this affects individuals and how it impacts our region and things like that. But the piece of it, I think most folks around here know that I'm pretty passionate. I've been a banker all these years, but I'm pretty passionate about our small businesses, about business in general. Economic development, the right kind of economic development, is a good thing, and so I believe that the small businesses in this region, and also our major businesses in this region, the major job creators, I think they are pretty supportive of this new transit tax that's being proposed. Rusty, give me your thoughts about that.
Well, my town is made up of small businesses.
Exactly.
We have 4 large employers with MSC, Ingersoll Rand, Train, and Davidson College. And of course, they're all supportive of this, as is Lowe's to the north of us in Iredell County. But we've got over 300 small businesses in Davidson, and I've talked to a lot of those small business owners that are located in the Main Street corridor where the train ultimately will have a stop in Davidson, and they're excited about the possibilities of the people that come from Charlotte to Davidson to eat at the restaurants and shop at the stores, but also fill up the road with cars and fill up the parking lots with cars. Now they're going to be able to have that option to come up here using microtransit, using enhanced bus service with the better bus, and using the red line to come to the farmer's market, to shop at the village store, to eat at Kindred. And I'm not slighting any of the other small businesses, but I just threw a couple out there to just let people understand that that's going to be able to be accomplished. And that's where the support for those small businesses in all 3 of our communities are going to reap the benefits. If you look at businesses along the blue line in the south end, or the blue line in the North Tryon corridor, there's been a few big box stores that have opened up, but mainly it's grocery stores. What you've seen open is a lot of small businesses, boutique restaurants, boutique clothing stores, and things like that. And that, again, is the backbone of a vibrant business community, is having that blend of large employers and small employers at the same time.
It is, and I don't think the tax is charged on food and items like that, is it?
No.
Am I correct about that?
You are.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the effect on small business and business in general? You guys got some big employers down in Huntersville.
Yeah, we do. And I always tell this story. Many years ago, when I was serving in the General Assembly, I toured Southwire, and the manager at the time there, I said, if government could do anything for you, what would it be? And he said, a train, so my employees can get here without having to drive on the highway. And so I've always kind of held that in the back of my mind as a goal for this region when I was there, and now as the mayor of Huntersville, like I keep that in my mind all the time. But the red line is going to be a game changer for downtown Huntersville. Like, it's been a sleepy little area, and we've been trying to revitalize it. And when we can have people coming to events at Veterans Park who come to see a concert and then walk over and get ice cream or get a slice of pizza, and then we have Choplin's coming to Huntersville very soon, and the Dumpling Girls opening a restaurant. And so all these little places that are on the precipice of opening will automatically have built-in customers. And so I'm excited for them to solidify them and how they will stay there and continue to grow our downtown. And then beyond that, every area along the line is just going to get a little bit of a boost and improvement, because it's going to be revitalized the whole way up. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And, it affects all different age types as well. I can remember, it's been a couple of years ago now, I got a call from the activities director, one of the activities director out at Bailey's Glen, one of our large communities here in Cornelius, 55 and up community. She had quite a few residents approach her wanting me to be contacted to see if I could arrange a CATS bus directly over to the university area from the Bailey's Glen area to connect them with the blue line over there. And it is the blue line, isn't it? Maybe not.
In the
Did I
university.
get that right?
Yeah.
So to connect them with the blue line over there. And of course, CATS couldn't supply that because it's such a specialized type service. But they were so interested in connecting to rail in a way that they could get to some predominant locations in this county, i.e. downtown Charlotte being one of them, to actually go shopping, to actually go to events, to go to plays and go to dine down there just to have a night out. So they are, for the most part, particularly excited about it coming just right up the street from them here. As far as the station goes, they can go south to Huntersville pretty quick, or they can go north to downtown Cornelius and jump on that train now and just have a great time and not have to worry about all the driving and the congestion on the road. So there's a lot of reasons that folks, I think, are attracted to the potential of that red line. But I can't get over the excitement of new and additional roads and the maintenance of the roads and sidewalks and parking decks. Davidson needs a parking deck, don't you, Rusty?
Well, our last parking study says no. We are only 1 or 2 parking spaces deficient, and I will tell people that you can find a parking space in Davidson. It may not be in front of the soda shop or in front of Summit Coffee, but there's a parking space out there. You just have to look for it a lot of times. But on the weekends, different story. We put 3,000 people every Saturday behind Summit at the downtown gathering space for our downtown farmers market. And it's grown in popularity to the point where it is a challenge to find a parking space on a Saturday morning. So with the onset of the red line coming up, the Transit Authority will build a deck in each of our towns for not just the park and ride application, but it will be a public deck. So I see that some people will utilize that as a parking deck in theory of what a parking deck is, not just as a place to park so I can get on the train to go to Charlotte. So it's with the onset of the train coming, I mean, we all have unique riders in our 3 towns that, I tell people there's about 4,000 people that leave Davidson to work somewhere else every day, and there's about 4,000 people that come into Davidson from somewhere else to work. So it's almost an even flush in and out, and we have about 900 residents that live in town and work in town. So those 4,000 people that leave either in a car or leave on the 77X that leaves Davidson, or they come to your parking rides in Cornelius and Huntersville, respectively, and catch the bus to go into Charlotte that way. So, this is going to be a game changer for us there, in that we're going to have that ability to just be able to move around in a manner that, I drive to Charlotte like you guys do for our transportation meetings and everything. And there are days when it costs $22 to drive one way to Charlotte. And I can't sit in a general purpose lane, which is a parking lot. And if I could leave early enough, I'd drive down on 21, but
Well, piling on your comment there, we know, because we had a study done too, that 85 to 90% of the people that work in Cornelius don't live here. They do not live here. And that's probably somewhat true in all of our towns to some degree. I'm not sure, but what our percentages are a little different, but they just can't afford to live here and don't live here. So they've got to drive to their jobs. And that's just putting cars on the street and enhancing the congestion that's out there. So
it's about 80% in the town of Huntersville
it's
drive
incredible,
into
isn't
work.
it? It's a pretty incredible number. So, more to come as we wrap up this conversation on transit. So we look forward to updating you on a couple other things. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we'll be right back for our final segment. Thanks for listening today.
There's more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, what do you say we start to warm things up a little bit more and we finally dry out a little bit? We're going to be looking forward to that the next couple of days. For our Thursday, we're getting some sunshine to peek out. Still some extra clouds around and the chance of an isolated shower or pop-up thunderstorm, but high temperatures should climb back into the mid and upper 70s for the afternoon. Looking at mainly dry weather and getting warmer too as we head toward the weekend. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s for our Friday and into Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville presents live music on Saturday night with a performance by My Better Half. The husband and wife duo brings energy and chemistry to the stage while their music spans a wide range of genres and eras. Call 704-872-9990 for more information on the Victory Lane Sports Bar and Grill, tea times, and the My Better Half show on Saturday night, all at the 500 Club. Kick back, relax, and enjoy movie night in the plaza at Birkdale Village in Huntersville with Lights, Camera, Birkdale. Film Classics take over their jumbo screen on Saturday with a showing of Madagascar at 7:30 p.m. Want dinner during the movie? Contact Concierge by 4 p.m. on Saturday to place your phone order and then pick up at the Concierge booth. Lights, Camera, Birkdale presents Madagascar on Saturday night. See the top riders from the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship as they compete on a custom-built course at ZMAX Dragway. The playoff opener features a two-moto format for the 450cc class and 250cc class, promising plenty of drama and excitement from the moment the gates drop. Click on CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for tickets, a track map, and information on other 2025 events. Looking for fashion that fits your style and your budget? Green Jeans Consignment is back September 9th through 14th at 601 Milestone Venue in Concord. Shop, consign, or both. Get all the details at greenjeansale.com. Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Tired of guessing what's going on with your HVAC? Varsity Zone's smart AC monitoring with comfort sensors tracks performances in real time before problems happen. Enjoy clarity, trust, and long-term comfort. Visit varsityzone.com.
Now, more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Good morning again. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam right here. Just delighted to have the other two North Mecklenburg mayors with me today, Mayor Christy Clark from Huntersville and Mayor Rusty Knox from Davidson. We just have so much fun when we get together, don't we, guys?
We do.
Yes,
We always have stuff to talk about. And I guess one of the points I will make is how closely we work together. We don't agree with every single aspect of any political item, and that's okay. But we really do get along well, and we communicate well, and we support each other in ways that we can talk about different things going on in our towns, and that means a lot. And that was important to me when I filed for reelection. We've all filed for reelection this time, and I really, was a little bit hesitant to do that, but it is my fifth term, and I thought I just can't leave all these critical issues on the table unfinished. I just can't do that, and this transit issue is one of those issues, and I imagine that probably led into some of your decisions. Rusty, you're right up with me. This is your fifth term as well, isn't it?
It is, and transit is one of those issues. I think when you start things, you like to finish things. I will not be the mayor of Davidson, North Carolina, when the train is running.
Right.
That's going to be about 8 years from now, and I love this job, and I would like to do it a couple more terms. I would like to be mayor as long as my father was mayor of Davidson, which would mean I have to run 3 more times.
Wow.
So I'm not sure if I've got 6 more years in me, but I do love the job, and I tell people it's the best job I ever had. But I will tell you, one of the benchmark things that I hoped to accomplish when I first ran was building relationships with not only my neighbors to the south with Huntersville and Cornelius, but Mooresville as well, and then the greater Mecklenburg County area. And I feel that I've achieved that because the relationships that the three of us have, a lot of people don't understand that this is not a full-time job. Christy is a teacher, Woody is a banker. I'm supposed to be a realtor, but I sit at town hall 40 hours a week and do this. But we talk during the week. I mean, it's not we just get together once a month at a transportation meeting or something like that. We talk, we bounce ideas off each other because what might work in Huntersville won't work in Davidson, or my idea for Davidson might be something that can take a pivot and do better in Cornelius. So there's collaboration is so important, and having a good rapport and good relationship with the people that you are in the trenches with, making the sausage with, is so important.
It really is, and that relationship building process is certainly crucial. And I've worked at it a long time, and again, I don't particularly politically match with some folks, but I really have enjoyed working with our county commission. I have really enjoyed getting to know Mayor Vilisles and some of her leadership a lot better, and I like Mayor Lyles. I think she's a smart lady. We're not politically aligned, certainly, in many ways, but that's okay. I respect her, and I respect these other two mayors sitting here with me, too. So I think that means a lot, doesn't it, Christy? We've talked about a lot of things
We
that
have.
both of our towns are challenged with.
Yeah, as the newbie mayor at the table, y'all's relationship with me and our friendship and our professional, rapport has been invaluable to me as I was, kind of navigating and learning the pathways of different issues around the towns. But what I love is sometimes in things that, Rusty pointed out things that don't work, but sometimes we copy each other. I have an idea and they'll pick it up and run with it in their towns, and it'll enhance the towns across the region. Or same with Woody, we've done that before. And so I think that we use our minds to make sure that we're lifting everybody up, which I really enjoy a lot of that. And I love the job of mayor too. I have my second job being a teacher, which I also love, but there is nothing better than helping a resident who's having a problem and they email you and say, it has taken me 6 months and I've tried and tried and tried to get this fixed. Can you help me? And, we can find a pathway to fix it in a couple days or even sometimes that same day. And that is just like one of the best things about this job, is just helping residents solve problems, helping them get from point A to point B with, just different things. And it just makes me so happy.
Yeah, me too. And, we work together on so many things to improve the quality of life here. The arts is one of them. We're all very involved with that. Certainly, Kane Center for the Arts is a regional arts center. These guys support it, and there's a lot of artsy things going on in all three of our towns now, and that's a good feeling for me, because that was a true goal for me, and it's become a reality. It really has, and I'm so proud of that. And things like that have certainly enhanced our relationship. But one of the other things that we worked hard on is that originated in Cornelius, actually a mayor's committee a good many years ago, was affordable housing. And affordable housing is a problem it's a problem in this country, but we are not exempt from that here in North Mecklenburg. We have a problem. And it doesn't sound like something that would come out of the mouth of a lifelong Republican, but it is a problem, and I am committed to making that better here in our region. And so out of that came the establishment of what started out as a Cornelius Community Development Corporation and ended up expanding as relationships were built with our surrounding towns into the Lake Norman Community Development Corporation. And that is the conduit that sort of glues us all together as it relates to affordable housing. And I know Huntersville has stepped up, with that organization and what you're doing for affordable housing as well.
Yeah, and Mayor Bales had the foresight when she was in office to have a committee to kind of get everyone together and kind of brainstorm what should the next steps be in the town of Huntersville. And then when this board came on, we funded affordable housing for the first time in the history of Huntersville. And so that started with doing a housing and needs assessment, which I got that idea from the town of Davidson. And so we have been working on that, and that's going to really help us go in the direction we need, and along with, the Lake Norman organization too, to like help us drive that issue. And it's become, apparent to everybody who wants to build something in town of Huntersville. They know you better have some attainable or affordable housing units in your plan, because it's not gonna go very far in the conversation if you're not thinking about that group of people. And we're not just talking about teachers and firefighters. We're also talking about people who, the CNAs in hospitals, and the people who are the cleaners in hotels, and the waitresses and bartenders and people like that. Like, we're talking about those people too, because we're doing okay with, a middle grade, but when you're down at the minimum wage level, we just don't have enough housing for that group of people. And we're trying to push that issue and make sure people are focused on it.
Absolutely. And that ties into really some very significant projects that I'm pretty proud of here that spilled over into both communities, and that is the redevelopment of our historic African-American community of Smithville. We have come so far with that. The town is invested in it, probably $5+ million, and aren't through yet. But that spilled over, I think, with some coordination with Pottstown and with West Davidson, from communities that truly need some help. They truly do, and we've got to get that done. Mecklenburg County has been great in supporting all of us, but it's not done yet. So we've got some distance to travel with that, and that's been a proud process for me, but really, it's been a learning experience. It really has. It's taught me a lot. I've opened up my mind and heart and tried to put myself in their place, and that's really hard to do and almost impossible to do. But I'm proud of the progress that I've made and that we've made to better understand all that. So. Yep. So off we go. But, that ties in well to our transit discussion, too. These folks that are in these neighborhoods need the support of our transit programs that we've been talking about most of the morning here. And I think that's what's going to help make us a better community and serve the vast array of different levels of income that our citizens make out there. And really tie our towns together in a much better way. So, I'm pretty excited about that as well. So, as we talk about a few other things that we can quickly touch on is the medic services. We're out to improve our medic services here, and we're well on our way. We've got some good stories to tell there, and we'll probably come back and have another conversation about medic one of these days. But,
for sure.
Thanks for listening, folks, about all this transit talk and transit opportunity. And again, I'm sure my colleagues here will reiterate that we need to get educated on this matter. And,
please go to your town websites and look at the information that's provided. It is non-political. It is just simply a method of telling you what this is all about.
Exactly. We have that on our websites. Please go look. Thanks again for listening today. We're so grateful. And go vote in November. And we appreciate you listening. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks for listening today.
Thanks, Woody.
105.9 100.7 WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville, North Charlotte.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Ukrainian